Alright folks, Roz with the mtGnoob back for the third and final round. We're here in the finals with a deck that is obviously titled Collective Blessing and 39 other cards. Alright, so hey and good luck to you. Sure, I'll play first. And this hand is pretty representative of what we want to be doing. I don't think I'll mulligan. I'm in a real weird position, though, because I have to determine whether or not I want Selesnya Charm as a creature or as a pump or some sort of removal. And I think it's really going to just depend on what he plays here. So we'll see what kind of deck he is. He's throwing down the white, so maybe my Selesnya brother or maybe some kind of Azurius deck. I think we're going to go ahead and just hold back with the Selesnya Charm right now. Well, let's think about this. We have an Eyes in the Skies, we have 3 mana, everything in our hand is 3 or less. We don't necessarily have our 4th mana right now. Well, I can wait. It's not like a huge pressing matter that I create my Selesnya Charm token like right now. So that's not terrible. Fencing Ace is pretty good for him. So, let's see, now I can really kind of determine whether or not I want a Selesnya Charm, Wayfaring Temple. It's still a tough decision. It's kind of like I would like to get like a better use of my mana here, but I think we'll just hold this Selesnya Charm. We're in a decent place right now. Let's see, we'll have things like this Wayfaring Temple. We could throw down a Centaur Healer, which blocks Fencing Ace. Let's go ahead and ride the Wayfaring Temple train and see where that takes us. I have all 3 Centaur Healers in my hand. So if I do take a couple of damage from Fencing Ace, it's not like grotesquely horrible. And right now he's just showing blue and white. So I'm not really like expecting like an Electric or anything. He could totally be Azurius Izzet, which is a fine combination, and is actually like the combination that I probably enjoy the most, or I have the most fun with, I should say. Depending on what his plays are, he might not even swing in here. So he does get his 3rd mana, which is nice for him. Okay, so he is going to go ahead and swing in, and yeah, we'll take the 2 damage from that. I'm not super worried about that, especially when we're dealing with things like Centaur Healers and the like. Azurius Arrester's pretty good. Okay, so he's a pretty Azurius-y deck. That is our Forest, which is pretty sweet. And that does make me want to Eyes in the Skies at the end of his turn. And I think that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. The reason why is we can't play like a Centaur Healer and a Selesnya Charm. And I think I'm okay with Eyes in the Skysing and just getting birds instead of like, say, night tokens. Let's see here. I could also... Let's see. I could also do a few things. I could Eyes in the Skies. Let's see. I could Eyes in the Skies and see if he has some kind of bounce. I think we'll just go ahead and take 2 here. I'm not like super worried about it right now. I'd rather him tap out a little bit before I go ahead and throw down... No, he's not going to tap out anything. So we'll see if he has the counter spell here, and he very well may, which is fine, but it does not look like he does. So that's good. So we're sitting in a position right now where we do have this Wayfaring Temple, we have these 2 birds. Let's see. If he had something like a Swift Justice, That would only get this to hit for 4. I could also play a Centaur Healer. Okay, so the idea is play a Centaur Healer, puff this guy up to a 4/4. Swing in and see if he Selesnya Charms? Or Azurius Charms? Let's see what he does. Okay, so he is just going to go ahead and take that. There is the potential for objects like detention spheres. Or he could just be digging. So he's got plenty of cards in hand right now. That's good for him. Our board position is looking pretty solid. I do still have this trick here. Or I could be using it to exile a powerful card that he may play. I'm not sure what I can think of for 5 mana that is above a 5 power card for him. Obviously, there's things later in the game like Sphinx of the Chimes. Knightly Valor is pretty good for him. Let's see, so that makes that a 3/3 Vigilance First Striker. That's pretty good. And he's even going to end up getting a token out of the deal. So the question here becomes, do I want to take 6? Or do I want to throw this Centaur Healer in front of it, put a Selesnya Charm on top of it, and then I don't know if I'm going to call it like a 2-for-1, but he is essentially, well, let's see here. I can play a Centaur Healer next turn, so this guy goes back up to being a 5/5. Yeah, I think here we kind of have to block this. I don't really feel like taking 6. That's a significant amount of damage. Let's see here. Yeah, we pretty much have to block this way. So we can go ahead and Selesnya Charm this now. And that will at least get us enough to kill him, which is fine. But yeah, having that on the board is just really significant for him, and it's not something I want to deal with. He also tapped out for that, which is pretty fortunate. Okay, so we can play out another Centaur Healer here. And in fact, we could play out another Centaur Healer just because I can't think of a reason not to. So now we're back up to 25. I think that this is one of the reasons why I value these Centaur Healers so high, because if you look in every single round so far, I've gotten at least 1 to 2 of these guys out, and the amount that it changes the amount that it just changes the battlefield value when it comes to health and life and things like that is just really, really significant. So he's got plenty of another fencing ace. Okay, so he's clearly the fencing ace. Okay, you can soul tie that. I'll pay for that all day. See, Soul Tithe, this is what I was talking about when I was saying that Soul Tithe is good, but in the late game, it's like not great. Like the only way that me paying for this would make me feel just absolutely terrible is if like I pay for it and then I draw Collective Blessing. That would make me feel really, really bad. But as of right now, it's like, yeah, I'll pay for that. So we can go ahead and pay like this. Whatever. Okay, so we draw Collective Blessing, which is hilarious. Okay, so in this instance, let's see, we're representing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we have lethal. So if he double blocks one of these in order to kill it, we get through at 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. He dies. So there is no reason here not to swing in with everything. And if he does have the Azorius Charm, you know, that's pretty unfortunate, but it's still a pretty significant attack on our part that will really whittle him down. And considering we're sitting at 25 life, we can face a few hits here and there. So let's see what he wants to do. Even if he does Azorius Charm something. No, it looks like he's just going to go ahead and chump. Okay. So it all comes down to the next turn here. If I get to play Collective Blessing, I imagine that'll just be the game. I mean, he could syncopate it, but I'm not even really sure I have to play Collective Blessing. I don't even think I need to show it to him. I can just pay Soul Tithe, probably. And just continue. Okay, so yeah, we ended up winning that. Gatecreeper Vine, Keening Apparition. So we had some pretty good stuff coming up. Gatecreeper Vine, like, I'm not going to say it's like this overwhelmingly awesome card, but with Collective Blessing, it does turn into a 3/5 wall, and that's pretty significant for 2. Okay, so Fencing Aces, Arresters, things of that nature. Not a ton of flyers. Common Bond is going to be really good. We didn't see any dramatic rescues. We didn't see any Azorius Charms. His deck is, I think it's the same speed as ours. We just don't see a lot of our early game, if you notice. We don't like I see a Centaur's Herald, but I'll see it like on turn 4 or 5. Let's see. We don't have a lot of ways to get rid of his enchantments, which makes me very sad. He didn't see any enchantments from us, though, which makes me very happy, because this way maybe he doesn't know that Collective Blessing is coming his way. I think we're okay just running this out like it is. I can't really think of anything I'd want to change. Like I could cite in like Aerial Predation, maybe, if you put like a Knightly Valor on a flying creature, but I think we're just going to go ahead and go with what we've got right now. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and go in. Right, so we see absolutely nothing. We're on the draw. We have plenty of mana. We have a lot of things that we could draw into. 5-land hand with no creatures. He keeps it 7. We're on the draw. We draw anything and we're okay. I think we're going to go ahead and keep this. We have plenty of creatures, and we have plenty of abilities that generate creatures, and we have good plays like Common Bond, so I really hope we see something decent. Okay, I mean, we saw Celestia Charm. That's not bad at all. Celestia Charm is going to be exactly whatever we want it to be right now. So if we do need a creature, we can use it for that. And there's a very high chance that he throws down something on turn 2 with all those fencing aces he has. Very interesting. He doesn't have anything for turn 2. So we can play out this Plains, pass the turn back, see what he has. Maybe play out a Selesnya Charm as a Night Token. I imagine he'll have a play here. Vessel Soul's pretty good. I think we're still going to go ahead and Selesnya Charm here, and the reason why is we can actually Common Bond our Selesnya Charm. And we pull the Gatecreeper Vine. So let's see if he wants to block this. Common Bond on a Night Token will be fairly decent. We didn't see any Void Wielders. So he's just going to go ahead and take that. Okay, that's fine. So we can play our Gatecreeper Vine here. and thin out the deck a little bit. We have so many live lands here that we can just pull a Guild Gate and not really feel too bad about it. So we're in a decent position. We're going to have enough land to be able to Tristani's Judgment, which is good. That's kind of one of the reasons that I went ahead and got this Knight token online. Okay, so he's in action injuncting the Knight token, probably looking for a land. And he gets it, so that's good for him. He'll fly in for 2, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about that. So Syncopate for 1 is something to consider. Let's see. Swift Justice is very interesting. Yeah, we can probably just lay down this Guild Gate. And, I mean, unfortunately, there's just really nothing we can do right now because our guy is injuncted. So whether or not he enjoys his plight, he is currently thrown into his jail cell. I'm sure he'll be arguing to be released. There he goes. So he won in court, but he did have to spend a little bit of time in the jail cell. Luckily, though, he had some decent alibis with this Gatecreeper Vine. He's like, no, man, that knight is innocent. Ooh, Hover Barrier, that is pretty good for him. And an Ethereal Armor on the Vassal Soul. So yeah, getting past that Hover Barrier would be a definite pain in the rear end. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Let's see here. We'll have things like Common Bond online, which is fine. We will be able to Tristani's Judgment next turn, which I guess is good. Let's attack here and see what he wants to do. I imagine he'll have absolutely no problem blocking with that Hover Barrier. Because what could I do? I could Giant Growth and Swift Justice. He knows I'm not going to do that. So yeah, things are looking pretty dire right now. He does have this big flying beater beating us in the face. Okay, so yeah. So Tristani's Judgment is going to get real good. We're going to take 6. Which makes me so unhappy, and it makes me double unhappy because that means that we can't deal with that Hover Barrier. There's nothing I can do about that. So yeah, we took a real beating. There's not a whole lot I can do. I think what we're going to go ahead here and do is while he's tapped out, just go ahead and do this Vassal Soul. An argument could be made, well, he might throw something else on the Vassal Soul, and that's true. We haven't seen any counter spells, but getting this Tristani's Judgment countered would just be absolutely devastating. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and hit that Vassal Soul so hard that it flies above his lands. And we'll even get a Knight token out of the deal. So that's good. Now I'm kind of glad that I saved my tricks. We'll be able to use some tricks maybe to get past his Knight token and his Hover Barrier. It really depends on what he has in his hand. Obviously, seeing things like Void Wielders right now would be really unfortunate, but there's a lot of cards he could have. If he doesn't play anything, I mean, I'll assume like maybe a Skyline Predator. Obviously, Hussar Patrol is also a possibility. We are at 9, though, so the stabilization, while it's possible, is not going to... It's going to take time, and it really depends on what he has to play for us. Interesting. So... Okay. If he did attack there, I would probably throw the Gatecreeper Vine in front. Okay, so now we're treated to a Knightly Valor. Knightly Valor is really good, but him holding up all that mana kind of freaks me out. So having this Common Bond as backup, let me see here. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to Common Bond if I Knightly Valored. So having the Common Bond as backup is pretty good, and I think that we will go ahead and see what happens here. He could also have things like Dramatic Rescue, which would be pretty unfortunate. But luckily that's where Common Bond becomes really good because it allows you to spread the love around. And we do even have Swift Justice backup. So there's potential that we could just be trading a bunch of cards for a bunch of cards. Let's see, so Hover Barrier on that night. Okay, I'm fine with that. And Dramatic Rescue on that night. Okay, so that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it's kind of what I expected, I guess. So we can go ahead and Knightly Valor up this big boy. And we do still have Swift Justice on tap, which is pretty good. We might see a... Oh, we're going to see an Inspiration. Okay. I was thinking we might see like a cancel or something. So we're doing okay, but we are still at 9 life, which is not at all where I want to be. Spurious Skywatch is very good. Yeah, he's going to take out that Knight token with no hesitation. And he's going to hold up Swift Justice mana. That's pretty bad. Alright, well. Here. Let's see, what can I do here? I don't think I can really do anything right now. Man, that's really unfortunate. That a Spurious Skywatch is just going to brutalize us in the air. Well, let's go ahead and attack here and see if maybe he wants to like double block or something. That would be really, really good. I mean, I imagine he'll just put the Hover Barrier in front of it, but yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Oh, a Spurious Skywatch, you dirty, dirty card. So any kind of detain right now would be really bad. Sunspire Griffin is not like the worst thing I could have seen. Him having an inaction injunction, however, is probably one of the worst things I could see. Yeah, he's going to swing right in there with total impunity. So Towering Indrik is going to be great here. And he's also going to play a Tower Drake. We're at the point now where I really need to start playing my cards. So let's see, if I put Common Bond on this guy, he can finally get past that Hover Barrier. Yeah, I think I'm just going to have to Common Bond this dude twice. And that's going to make it really unfortunate if later on he has something like a bounce spell like that Dramatic Rescue. Wayfaring Temple is excellent. So he's looking at 1, 2, 3. Okay, so right now, let's see. We're going to go ahead and swing in here. Okay, he wants to do the Hover Barrier. I'm at a point right now where I actually have to Swift Justice. Did I do that right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did. Okay. Where I have to Swift Justice to get enough life to stay in the game. And that's really not how I wanted to use that kind of trick. But you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, so Wayfaring Temple hits the ground. That's going to be a decent 4-4. So he can't just go all willy-nilly flying at me in the air. He has to leave some stuff back for blocks. Unless he has a way of detaining. Azorius Arrestor is definitely a detain card. And I imagine the Night token over here will be seeing some very significant detention. Yeah, things are looking pretty bad right now. The amount of flying that he has is just really whipping us. Ugh. Not having like a tower Indrik or something like that is just crushing. Keening Apparition. Is going to lose us the game, actually, unless he does something really, really poorly. Alright, well, let's play it out. I mean, that was pretty unfortunate. We didn't see, like, any of our eyes in the skies or anything like that. And his deck just had the proper abilities to get rid of ours. We'll go ahead and just see what else he has for us here. I imagine he'll just swing it in the air and win. Yep, not much I can do about that. Okay. So that was pretty unfortunate. Alright, moving into the last game here. Things to do. Aerial Predation absolutely has to come in. And I think that we can take out... Let's see here. Everything else is really pretty good. I think I can maybe take out this Key Rune. And try that. And Aerial Predation would have been really fortunate there. Need the Towering Indrik for sure. We also need this Concordia Pegasus. Both Eyes in the Skies are very important for us. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and trot it out like that. Yeah, we'll play first. Yeah, this is a really good hand. This has things like Concordia Pegasus, Celestia Charm. This has our Towering Indrik. So now we actually have ways to deal with his menagerie of flyers, which is excellent. So we'll go ahead and lay down our Guild Gate and continue on. And we see another Centaur Healer. Where were you guys last turn? So we see no play from him. Very interesting. So we can go ahead and swing in here for our one little damage as our Concordia Pegasus uses his hooves aptly to beat down our opponent. Or her hooves, I guess. And Centaur Healer is definitely the way to go here. And even if it gets syncopated for one, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, this hand feels really good. If we see another land, this hand feels excellent. Even if we don't see another land, it's not like the end of the world, but I would really enjoy seeing another land. Griffin is good. Rather than using my Celestia Charm to just kill a Griffin, I'll probably just swing with my Centaur Healer. I imagine he will not block. If we rip another land, that would be really good, because then I'll be able to put down this Towering Indrik, and our Skyward Reaches will be thoroughly protected. Thought for a while there. That was kind of interesting. He was out of mana. So land would be good. Alright, so we do not see a land. That's unfortunate. we can go ahead and swing in here with Centaur Healer. We do have plenty of plays still, which is fine. We do have this Keening Apparition, which is very important. As expected, he goes ahead and takes that damage there, so we can go ahead and Centaur's Healer again. We're looking just fine right now. But getting stuck on 3 land is not where we want to be. He has a deck that made it to the finals as well, so his deck is obviously no laughing matter. And we really need to continue hitting our land drops so that we can do things like this Towering Indrik and Eyes in the Skies. Security Blockade is interesting, so that will give him a Night token. So he's like an Azurius token deck. And Ethereal Armor on the Sunspire Griffin. That is really, really bad. So, yeah, Keening Apparition, very important. Especially against a Flying First Striker. We did see our land there, which is excellent. So we can do things like Keening Apparition and Selesnya Charming. I think right now we're just going to go ahead and swing with these 2 Centaur Healers. He obviously wants to race, which is interesting. I imagine he'll have to block rather than just take 6. He does. Alright, so we'll throw away Night token. This Keening Apparition absolutely has to come out. And we do have this Selesnya Charm as backup. So Keening Apparition, very important right now. Mostly because of the sacrifice ability. So that's pretty good, just because this way it can't be countered or anything like that. Wow, and a Knightly Valor. Let's see, that'll make it a... Actually, that is perfect. That's exactly what we want to have happen. Because that will allow us to Selesnya Charm it away. And this Selesnya Charm is just going to be an absolute brutal beating. So we can go ahead and just use this right now. That was perfect. So yeah, we've totally taken control of the game now. We're at a point now where I can just swing in with no hesitation. He might even go ahead and just chump one of these Centaurs. Okay, he does not. I'm seeing an Eyes in the Skies at the end of his turn for the best bang for our buck. This way we get more things in the air. And if we do end up drawing something like a Phantom General, or if we end up, let's see. If we end up, well, we can't draw the Collective Blessing, that won't work. So he's playing a lot of things here. Could be Cyclonic Rift, maybe? Let's see, that's 5. Well, it's not enough for Cyclonic Rift. Sphinx's Revelation is amazing for him, but I think he is still just dead. Mostly because of the Eyes in the Skies at the end of the turn. And then me being able to swing him with everything. So good for you for getting Sphinx's Revelation. That paid for your next couple of drafts. Yep, so we can swing in here. He can block 3, so we'll deal 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, he'll be 1 away. but we got to go ahead and do it. Snake's Revelation is a really good card, and it may have put him back in the game. It just really depends on what he drew there. You can't block there, you'll die. Yeah, you have to block a centaur. That's why I swung in with everything. Okay, so play out this Towering Indrik. And I guess we can hold on to the land. If we get Collective Blessing, we can just lay the land in playing it, so that's pretty good. So now he has enough mana for Cyclonic Rift, and that would be really bad. But we're not really, like, super tokeny right now. We have, like, these 2 birds, and that's pretty much it. And everything else that he throws back to our hand, it's like we want to play again. Like, I want to play these Centaur Healers again. That would be amazing. So yeah, he's going to go ahead and call it quits there. Shoot, I don't even think I got to say what I wanted to say. Just say, yeah, that would have been amazing. The revelation was really good. And he's gone anyway. Okay, well, that's too bad. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed those games. Collective Blessing, though, did not win me that game. Hey, so I guess, you know, there was a lot of other really good cards in that deck, especially things like Centaur Healers. And yes, if he did have Supreme Verdict, I would be totally in the mud, and we would be very, very sad. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. This is Roz for mtgnoob.com, theMTGnoob.com. Keep playing Magic, keep learning, have fun, and I will see you guys later.